I'll spite.
Every single day, you might be silently destroying your professional credibility.
Yeah.
And, you probably don't even need to do it, but you might be doing it with just 4 simple letters. V-E-R-Y, the word very. So today we're going to tear down the basic language habits that are kind of trapping your true intelligence.
Wow, that is a really powerful reality. Because I think many people feel that exact trap. Like, you sit in a meeting, right? And you have this brilliant idea in your native language, but then when you go to translate into English, the words they feel weak. You feel like your personality and your intelligence are suddenly, I don't know, much smaller, and it is incredibly frustrating.
It is frustrating. It really is. And, we want to welcome you to our conversation today. If you have ever felt nervous speaking English, or if you feel like you're always searching for words and only finding the basic ones, you are in the exact right place. Our mission today is to completely optimize how you learn and use English.
Right, and I think we should actually ask the listener directly about this feeling, because it's so common.
Oh, absolutely.
So I want you to think about the last time you had to speak English in a professional or like an important situation. Did you feel powerful or did you feel nervous?
Just say your honest answer out loud right now.
Yeah, go ahead and actually say it. We'll give you a few seconds to think about it.
Just speak it into the room.
All right, so if you said you felt nervous, I want you to know that it is entirely normal.
Completely normal.
Yeah. Anxiety physically changes how our brains access vocabulary. Even native speakers lose their words when they feel stressed out.
That makes me feel a lot better, honestly, knowing it's not just a language learner problem.
Not at all. But, we are going to change that dynamic. We are going to upgrade your listening, your reading, your speaking, and your writing. And we will do this by mastering what we call the psychology of nuance, and by building a really solid foundation of strong, undeniable words. Okay, so you mentioned those 4 letters earlier, the word very. And I actually want to push back on that a little bit.
Oh, okay, go for it.
Because people use the word very all the time in English, like constantly. It feels like a fundamental building block. So why is it so dangerous to our credibility?
Well, it's dangerous because, honestly, it's lazy.
Lazy?
Yeah. Linguists actually call it an empty intensifier. When you use the word very, it does not paint a clear, bright picture in the listener's mind. It takes up audio space, sure, but it adds absolutely 0 real value or emotion to your sentence.
Oh, I see. So it's almost like adding water to a glass of wine. Like, you have more liquid in the glass, but the flavor is actually weaker.
That is a brilliant way to describe it.
Yeah.
It dilutes your meaning. Like, if you say to your boss, I am very happy with this project, it sounds acceptable, but it doesn't sound powerful. It doesn't sound like you are a leader.
Right. It just sounds kind of basic. I want the listener to examine their own habits right now. Think about the conversations you had today in English. Did you use the word very? Try to remember the exact sentence you used.
That's a great exercise.
Right. So say that sentence out loud right now, the one where you use the word very. We'll wait a few seconds.
Let's give a moment.
Yeah.
So we all do it. It is literally a default setting in our brains. But to sound confident, we must manually override that setting. We have to replace very with strong adjectives. These are words that carry their own emotional weight.
I like that. Emotional weight. So let's explore the mechanics of this. How do we actually shift from weak intensifiers like very to these strong adjectives?
Let's look at the concept of good. If a movie is, quote, very good, your brain barely registers the compliment. It's just flat. But what if we remove very and use a single word that holds real energy?
We could use excellent, or perhaps like outstanding, or even superb.
Yes. Notice how those words feel physically different in your mouth when you say them.
Yeah, they do.
Superb has this crisp, professional energy to it. Now, let's look at the negative side. What if the situation is very bad?
Well, saying very bad sounds almost, childlike, like a little kid complaining. In a business context, if a strategy is failing, you need gravity in your voice. So you could say the situation is terrible, or the results are awful, or maybe the mistake was dreadful.
Dreadful is a fantastic example. It actually comes from the word dread, which means a deep fear. So when you say a situation is dreadful, you aren't just saying it's bad, you are communicating the exact emotional temperature of the room.
Wow, okay. That is a lot stronger. Let's test this concept with the listener. I want you to imagine you have been working for 12 hours straight. You haven't slept well. What is a strong single word for very tired? Think of the physical feeling in your body. Now say that strong word out loud.
Give it a try. Just one strong word for very tired.
We'll give you a few seconds.
So a really highly effective word here is exhausted,
Exhausted, yes.
right? Exhausted literally means your energy has been completely drained out of you, like a car running out of fuel. It paints a vivid picture.
But wait, what if I genuinely need to amplify a feeling? Like, what if a strong adjective is not quite enough and I truly need to intensify a word? Are all intensifiers bad?
No, not at all. The problem is relying only on very. If you must intensify a word, you have much more sophisticated options. So let's divide them into formal and informal environments.
Okay, that makes sense. Let's start with a formal environment, like a boardroom or an important email to a big client.
In formal situations, you should use words like extremely, highly, or incredibly. So instead of saying a competitor is very successful, you would say they're highly successful.
Highly successful. Yeah, it sounds objective. It sounds like you have looked at the data and made an analytical conclusion rather than just, an emotional guess.
Exactly. It shifts your tone from casual observation to professional assessment. Now, for informal situations like speaking with friends or maybe a relaxed lunch with your colleagues, you can use words like super or totally.
Oh, I use those a lot. So instead of saying I'm very excited for the weekend, I can say I am super excited for the weekend. It feels much more authentic and relaxed.
It does. So listener, let's practice this shift. I want you to imagine a formal meeting. You want to say a new policy is very effective, but I want you to change the word very to a formal intensifier. Go ahead and say your new sentence out loud.
Yeah, say it out loud for us. A formal intensifier for very effective.
You could say something like, it is highly effective or extremely effective. It just instantly elevates your professional presence.
I love that. Highly effective.
Now that we have established a foundation of strong words, we face a new challenge. Because having powerful words is like having powerful tools. You need to know exactly how and when to use them. And this brings us to the architecture of meaning. We call this nuance.
Nuance. Man, that is a concept that so many language learners struggle with, including me. Because it's easy to learn the basic definition of a word from a dictionary, but it is so much harder to learn the exact emotional weight of that word in different real-life situations.
It really is. And to understand nuance, we should use a visual analogy. Think about colors. If I ask you to imagine the color blue, what do you see?
I might see the bright blue of the daytime sky, or perhaps like the deep blue of the ocean.
Exactly. Blue is the basic category. But nuance is understanding the small, delicate differences within that category. Nuance is knowing the difference between light blue, navy blue, and midnight blue. So in language, nuance means understanding the slight variations in meaning between words that seem similar.
And there is actually a specific word we use to describe these small differences, right? The word is subtle.
Yes, subtle. It means a difference is small, delicate, and it requires careful attention to notice it. If a flavor is subtle, it doesn't overpower your mouth. If a change in a contract is subtle, you have to read closely to find it.
The spelling of this word always used to confuse me. It is spelled S-U-B-T-L-E, but we do not pronounce the letter B at all. The B is completely silent.
That's a great point to bring up. Let's make sure our muscle memory is correct here. Listener, I want you to focus on the silent B. Say the word subtle out loud right now.
Yeah, try it. Subtle.
Subtle. It really is a beautiful, soft word.
It is.
So let's apply this concept of subtle differences to a real-world scenario. Let's look at the nuance between three feelings related to interest. Imagine you are introduced to a brand new software system at work. You might say, I am curious.
Okay, curious. That implies a light, kind of casual interest, like I want to know a little bit more, but I am not heavily invested yet. It's a safe, neutral word.
Precisely. But what if your interest is stronger? What if there's a problem you really want to solve with this software? You would step up the ladder of nuance. You would say, I am intrigued.
Intrigued. Wow, that carries a much heavier psychological weight. It implies there is a mystery. It means my brain is actively engaged and I'm looking for answers.
Yes. Now, let's go all the way to the top of the ladder. What if the software is completely changing how you think? Like you cannot stop looking at it. Then you say, I am fascinated.
Let me challenge that slightly though. Is fascinated too emotional for a strict corporate environment? Like, does it make someone sound unprofessional to be that emotional about software?
That is a great question.
Right.
And the answer really lies in the context. If you say you are fascinated by a minor administrative task, yes, it sounds strange.
Right.
But if you say, I am fascinated by these new market trends, it shows deep intellectual engagement. It shows you are a strategic thinker. passion, when it's directed at complex problems, builds enormous influence.
Okay, I understand. So nuance is like a ladder. Curious, intrigued, fascinated. The emotion and the professional investment grow stronger with each step.
Exactly. And we must also use this ladder when dealing with negative situations. Nuance isn't just about expressing passion. It is highly critical for softening your tone. In English business culture, we call this diplomacy.
Diplomacy. Oh boy, this is where I made so many mistakes early in my career.
Really?
Oh yeah. Because in many cultures, directness is highly valued. It is seen as honest and efficient.
That is very true in many parts of the world.
Yeah, so when I first joined an international team, a senior colleague presented a timeline for a project. I looked at the timeline and I saw that the math was completely wrong. So I just looked at him and said, "You are wrong."
Oh. Ouch. I can imagine the temperature in the room dropped very quickly after that. How did people react?
It was terrible, honestly. The colleague immediately became defensive. He stopped listening to my data entirely, and he just focused on defending his pride. And I didn't mean to be aggressive, but in English corporate culture, directness can sometimes feel like an attack.
That is a painful but very, very common lesson. English professional communication relies heavily on psychological safety. When you tell someone you are wrong, you trigger their fight or flight response. You're attacking their competence. So we use nuance to soften negative statements so the other person can actually hear our feedback without feeling attacked.
Looking back at that meeting, how could I have expressed my disagreement using diplomatic nuance? Because the math was still incorrect. I had to say something.
You absolutely have to correct the error. You can't ignore it. But you change the framing. Instead of saying you were wrong, which points the finger directly at them, you focus on your own perspective. You say, I see it a bit differently.
I see it a bit differently. Wow, that is incredibly subtle. It validates that they have a perspective, but it firmly introduces my own perspective.
Yeah.
It invites a conversation instead of starting a war.
Exactly. Let's look at another dangerous phrase. When someone is explaining a complex concept and you're totally lost, the natural instinct is to say, I don't understand.
But isn't that just honest? Why is I don't understand problematic?
Because of the psychological undertone.
Yeah.
I don't understand can imply two negative things. Either it implies I'm not smart enough to grasp this, which lowers your status, or it implies you're doing a terrible job of explaining this, which offends the speaker.
I see. It creates a dynamic of failure. Either I am failing or they are failing.
Yes. So we change the dynamic to collaboration. Instead of I don't understand, we say, could you clarify that for me?
Could you clarify that for me? I like that. It treats the speaker as an expert. You are asking for their guidance rather than complaining about your own confusion. It's respectful and highly professional.
Exactly. So listener, it is time to test your diplomacy skills. I want you to imagine a scenario.
Get ready.
A colleague suggests a marketing idea that you know will be way too expensive. You need to stop the idea, but you have to maintain the relationship. Think of a diplomatic phrase to use instead of, that is a bad idea. Say your diplomatic response out loud right now.
We'll wait a few seconds while you say it. Remember, don't use the word bad.
Okay, so a highly effective choice here is, I am not sure that will work within our budget.
Yeah, notice how it removes the word bad entirely, and it just focuses on the objective limitation, the budget.
Exactly. So we have built a vocabulary of strong adjectives, and we have learned the delicate art of diplomatic nuance. We know what to say. But sometimes what we say is less important than what we stop saying.
Wait, what do you mean? Are there specific words we need to eliminate entirely?
Yes. We all have verbal habits that secretly destroy our authority. We use them without even thinking. They are silent confidence killers. And the most dangerous one is a psychological linguistic habit called hedging.
Hedging, like the green bushes people grow around their houses to block the view.
The exact same concept. A physical hedge hides a house. A linguistic hedge hides your true meaning. It is the practice of using uncertain, weak words to protect yourself from criticism. It's using words like maybe, kind of, sort of, or just.
Oh, this is everywhere. I receive emails every single day that start with, I just wanted to check on the report, or I just wanted to share my thoughts.
The word just in those sentences is a poison. It shrinks your professional presence. It makes it sound like you are apologizing for taking up space in their inbox. It basically tells the reader, please ignore me, I am not that important.
But let me play devil's advocate for a second. Doesn't hedging make us sound more polite? If I'm a junior employee, maybe I shouldn't sound too authoritative.
There is a massive difference between being polite and being submissive. Politeness is showing respect for someone else's time and expertise. Submissiveness is disrespecting your own expertise.
Yeah.
If you are hired to do a job, you have a right to speak clearly about it.
That is a vital distinction. I really need to remember that. So if I'm in a meeting and I think we should choose option A, I should not say, I sort of think option A is better.
Never. When you say I sort of think, you are telling the room that you do not even believe your own brain. And if you do not believe yourself, why should they believe you? You must remove the hedge entirely. You must say, I recommend option A.
I recommend option A. The physical sensation of saying that is completely different. It forces you to take responsibility for your opinion.
It really does. Listener, I want you to feel that shift in responsibility right now. We're going to strip away the weak hedges. I want you to sit up straight, take a breath, and state this firm sentence out loud. I recommend option A. Do it now.
Say it like you mean it. We'll give you a couple of seconds.
I recommend option A. That tone carries weight. It commands respect.
It really does. So what is the second confidence killer?
The second silent confidence killer is closely related to hedging. It is the habit of over-apologizing. It's the compulsion to say sorry for simply existing in a professional space.
Oh, I have to confess, I have a long history with this habit.
Really?
Yeah. When I first started operating in English environments, I felt like a total imposter. Every time I opened my mouth, I felt I was making a mistake. I would constantly say, sorry for my English, or I apologize for my accent.
I'm going to stop you right there, and I want every single listener to hear this clearly. Never, ever apologize for learning a language. Your accent is not a mistake. Your accent is a badge of honor. It proves that your brain operates in multiple linguistic worlds. It is a sign of bravery.
Thank you for saying that. That perspective is so important because the imposter syndrome tells us that because we are not perfect, we are a burden to the native speakers, so we apologize to make them feel better.
Exactly. But over-apologizing actually creates the exact opposite effect.
Yeah.
When you constantly say sorry, you become a burden because you force the other person to constantly reassure you. You're making them manage your emotions.
Oh, wow. I never thought about it like that. But surely there are times in business when an apology is actually required. Like if I miss a major deadline, I can't just pretend it didn't happen.
Of course not. If you make a significant error that causes real damage, a sincere professional apology is absolutely mandatory. But we're talking about everyday minor friction here. For everyday situations, there is a psychological golden rule. We must replace the negative frame of sorry with the positive frame of thank you.
Replace sorry with thank you. How does that shift the psychology of the interaction?
Let's build a scenario. You are 5 minutes late to a team meeting. The traditional response is to rush into the room, look down, and say, sorry, I am late. What does that do? It focuses everyone's attention on your failure. It forces them to say, oh, it's fine, don't worry. You have lowered your status.
And you have also made them do emotional labor for you.
Exactly. But watch what happens when we flip the frame. You walk into the room, you look people in the eye, and you say, thank you for your patience.
Wow. The energy completely changes. You are not asking for forgiveness. You are praising them for their virtue. You are elevating their status, which makes them feel respected.
It is a masterclass in power dynamics. You acknowledge the delay, but you frame it around their positive attribute, patience, rather than your negative attribute, tardiness.
Let's have the listener apply this golden rule to an email scenario. Imagine you took 3 days to reply to a colleague's email. Your instinct is to type, sorry for the slow reply. How can you rewrite that using the thank you frame? Say your new sentence out loud.
Think about it and say it. We'll wait a few seconds.
A brilliant rewrite would be, thank you for bearing with me, or simply thank you for your patience while I gathered this information.
Beautifully done. So writing these strong emails is one thing. When we write, we have the luxury of time. But when we speak, we are performing in real time. And that is where our physical bodies often betray our minds. Let's examine our vocal delivery.
The physical act of speaking. Yeah, this is where the anxiety truly lives for me. My brain knows the vocabulary, but my mouth simply will not cooperate.
It happens to everyone. The first vocal habit we need to address is the use of filler words. The ums, ahs, likes, and you knows.
From a psychological standpoint, why do we use these sounds? Like, they don't mean anything. Why does the brain produce them?
Because the human brain is terrified of dead air. When we speak, especially in a second language, our brain needs a fraction of a second to search for the correct vocabulary word. But we feel that if we stop making noise, the other person will think we have finished speaking and they will interrupt us.
So, is actually a defensive mechanism. It is a way of saying, do not interrupt me, my brain is still processing.
Exactly. But to the listener, Excessive filler words signal a lack of preparation or a lack of confidence. The solution is counterintuitive. To fix the fear of silence, we must embrace the pause.
Embrace the pause. You mean just stop talking entirely in the middle of a sentence? Won't that look incredibly awkward?
It feels awkward to you because your internal clock is running fast due to adrenaline. But to the listener, a deliberate 2-second pause looks incredibly powerful. It makes you look thoughtful. It commands attention.
So instead of saying the quarterly data shows that we are going to see a slight decrease in revenue, I simply hold the silence. The quarterly data shows that we are going to see a slight decrease in revenue.
Listen to the difference in authority there. The silence gives your words actual weight. Let's train this muscle right now.
Yes, listener, this is a physical exercise for you.
I'm going to ask you a basic question. What is your favorite book or movie? But here's the strict rule. Before you answer, you must look straight ahead and sit in absolute silence for 2 full seconds. No filler sounds. Control the silence. Ready? What is your favorite book or movie?
1, 2. Now answer it out loud. We'll wait a few more seconds.
Excellent.
The silence feels heavy, doesn't it? It feels almost dangerous.
Yeah.
But that heavy silence is what authority actually sounds like.
It is. And authority is also deeply connected to the pitch of our voice. This brings us to a pervasive vocal habit called uptalk.
Uptalk. I have heard this term, but I'm not entirely sure what it sounds like in practice.
Uptalk, which is also known as high-rising terminal, is a pattern where the pitch of your voice rises at the end of a declarative sentence. It makes a stated fact sound like a question. For example, if someone asks where I live, and I say, I live in London.
Oh, I hear it. The pitch goes up on the word London. I live in London. It sounds as if you are asking the other person to confirm your address for you.
Precisely. Biologically, raising the pitch of our voice is a way of seeking consensus. We do it to ensure the other person is following along and to avoid appearing aggressive. It is a biological submission signal.
But wait, aren't there regions where uptalk is just a natural part of the dialect, like in parts of Australia or California?
Yes, linguistics definitely vary geographically. However, in the global arena of international business, standard professional English favors a downward inflection for statements of fact. When you use uptalk in a boardroom, you subconsciously signal that you need permission to speak. You strip yourself of your own expertise.
So to sound like an expert, my voice must physically go down at the end of the sentence. I live in London.
Yes, a strong downward tone. If you struggle with this, there is a physical trick. The mind and body are deeply connected. You can use your hand to force your voice down. As you finish your sentence, make a small, sharp karate chop motion with your hand.
A physical motion to anchor the vocal pitch. Let me try it. I will state my role. I am the project manager.
Huh?
Wow, it's true. The physical drop of the hand pulls the voice down with it.
It really works. Listener, I want you to claim your space. I want you to state your name and your profession out loud right now. Use a firm downward tone. Use the physical hand chop if you need to. Say it now.
We'll give you a few seconds to do it. State your name and job. Firm tone.
That is the sound of conviction. No one can argue with a downward inflection.
It feels very grounded.
There is one final vocal habit we must conquer, and it's driven purely by anxiety. Speaking too fast.
Oh, this is my ultimate struggle. When the spotlight is on me, my fight or flight system activates. I just want the presentation to be over, so I rush through every slide at double speed.
The fight or flight response floods your system with cortisol. Your brain perceives the audience as a literal threat, and speed is your escape mechanism. But speed destroys clarity. In English, comprehension relies heavily on the space between words. If you smash the words together, the listener cannot decode the sounds.
And then the worst thing happens. The listener asks me to repeat myself, which just makes me feel even more anxious.
It is a vicious cycle. The cure is to consciously force yourself to speak 20% slower than you think is necessary. Slower speech indicates high status. It tells the room, my ideas are valuable and I have the right to take up time.
That is incredibly liberating. Slower speech equals high status. So we have mastered vocal delivery in real time, but what happens when the performance is not live? Like, what happens when we were writing a critical report alone at our desks with no teacher to correct us?
That is when you must become your own teacher. You must master the cognitive science of self-editing.
Self-editing feels impossible sometimes. Like when I read a paragraph I just wrote, my brain doesn't see the typos or the awkward phrasing. My brain just reads what I intended to write, not what is actually on the screen.
That is called cognitive autofill. Because you just wrote the text. The neural pathways in your brain are warm. Your brain already knows the meaning, so it skips over the actual visual data on the screen to save energy. It literally blinds you to your own mistakes.
How do we break that? How do we force the brain to actually see the text?
The absolute best method is time. Step away from the document, sleep on it. When you return 24 hours later, the neural pathways have cooled down and you approach the text as a stranger.
That is ideal, sure, but in the corporate world, I rarely have 24 hours. Sometimes I have 20 minutes before I have to hit send. What is the strategy then?
Then you use format disruption. You must drastically change the physical appearance of the text to trick your brain into thinking it is a completely new document.
Format disruption. So if I am typing in size 12 Arial font, what do I do?
Select all the text and change it to size 18 Comic Sans. Change the background color to pale yellow. Or best of all, print it out on physical paper and hold it in your hands. When the visual input changes, the brain is forced to read every single letter again. The mistakes will jump out at you instantly.
That is a brilliant cognitive hack. I am definitely going to use the font change trick today, but once the text looks new, how should I actually approach the editing process? Because I usually just start at sentence 1 and try to fix everything at once.
That is highly inefficient. You need a structured 3-step edit. You must separate the editing tasks because the brain cannot focus on high-level logic and low-level spelling at the exact same time.
Walk me through the 3 steps. What is step 1?
Step 1 is the macro edit, the big picture. You are not looking for typos here. You're looking at the flow of ideas. Does the opening hook the reader? Does paragraph A logically lead to paragraph B?
So in step 1, I am basically checking the skeleton of the document to make sure it stands up straight. What is step 2?
Step 2 is the structural edit. You zoom in on the paragraphs. The golden rule here is one main idea per paragraph. If a paragraph is half a page long, your reader will get lost. Break it up. Ensure there is plenty of white space on the page.
White space makes the document look less intimidating to the reader. Okay, so we have the big picture and we have clean paragraphs. What is step 3?
Step 3 is the micro edit. This is where you look at sentences and individual words. This is where you check your spelling. And most importantly, this is where you hunt for weak verbs, specifically the to be verbs.
Do to be verbs, you mean words like is, am, are, was, were. Why are they weak?
Because they do not show any action. They only show existence. They create passive, boring sentences. Let's look at an example. The clients were not enjoying the new interface.
The clients were not enjoying the new interface. I mean, it is grammatically perfect, but it feels very slow.
Exactly. Let's replace were not enjoying with a strong active verb. How about the clients hated the new interface?
The clients hated the new interface. Wow. It is shorter, it is punchy, and it conveys massive emotional urgency.
Listener, let's test your memory on this process. Think about the 3-step edit we just discussed. What is the primary focus of step 1? Don't worry about the specific name, just tell me what you were looking for in that very first pass. Say it out loud.
Think back to the skeleton. What is step 1? We'll give you a few seconds to answer out loud.
So if you remembered in step 1, you were looking at the big picture, the logic, the flow, and the overarching argument.
Right. Not the spelling. The big picture.
Now, even after the 3-step edit, there is one final test. It is the ultimate diagnostic tool for any piece of writing. You must read your text out loud.
Out loud, like even if I'm sitting in an open plan office surrounded by colleagues.
Whisper it if you have to, but your vocal cords must physically vibrate, and you must use breath. Reading out loud engages the physical rhythm of language. If you are reading a sentence and you run out of breath before the period, the sentence is too long. If your tongue trips over a combination of words, the phrasing is awkward.
That makes perfect sense. If my own mouth struggles to say it, my reader's brain will struggle to process it.
Exactly. So your vocabulary is strong, your delivery is confident, and your writing is polished. But none of this matters if your audience forgets everything you said the moment they leave the room.
Memorability. How do we ensure that our words actually stick in the minds of our listeners?
This requires an understanding of human psychology. And the truth is, most professionals are terrible at predicting what people will remember. We think that using complex academic language makes us memorable. It doesn't. It just makes us confusing.
If complexity doesn't work, what does the human brain actually hold on to?
The brain prioritizes 3 things: concreteness, negative framing, and spaced repetition. Let's break those down. First, concreteness.
Concreteness means something is physical, right? It is real. It is not an abstract concept.
Correct. Abstract words activate the language processing centers of the brain. But concrete words, words you can touch, smell, or see, actually activate the sensory cortex. When you use concrete words, the listener's brain physically simulates the experience.
That is incredible. The listener is literally feeling the words in their brain.
Let's demonstrate this for the listener right now. I'm going to give you two phrases. I want you to notice which phrase creates a faster, clearer image in your mind. Phrase 1, a strategic financial asset. Phrase 2, a heavy bar of solid gold. Which one do you see more clearly? Say it out loud.
We'll give you a couple of seconds. Which one is easier to picture?
I bet it was the gold.
Definitely. I can almost feel the weight of the solid gold in my hands. The strategic asset is just a blurry, vague concept.
Exactly. Whenever possible, translate your abstract business concepts into concrete physical metaphors. Now let's look at the second factor, negative framing.
Negative framing. But earlier we talked about using a positive frame, like replacing sorry with thank you. Are we contradicting ourselves?
It depends entirely on your goal. If your goal is relationship building, use positive frames. But if your goal is persuasion and memorability, the human brain is hardwired by evolution to pay attention to negative threats. This is known as loss aversion.
Loss aversion, meaning we hate losing things much more than we enjoy gaining things.
Precisely. Our ancestors didn't survive by remembering where the delicious berries were. They survived by remembering where the dangerous tiger lived. Pain is a much stronger memory hook than pleasure.
How does this apply to a business presentation, though?
Let's say you're pitching a new efficiency software. A positive frame is, this software will save you 10 hours a week. A negative frame is, without this software, you're burning 10 hours of your life every week doing manual data entry.
Burning 10 hours of your life? Ouch. That hurts to hear. It creates an immediate sense of urgency. I will remember the pain of burning time long after the presentation ends.
And the final pillar of memorability is fighting against a psychological phenomenon known as the Ebbinghaus forgetting curve.
The Ebbinghaus forgetting curve. Who was Ebbinghaus and what did he discover?
Hermann Ebbinghaus was a German psychologist in the late 19th century. He conducted massive experiments on human memory. He discovered that the human brain discards new information at an alarming rate. Within just 48 hours, people forget up to 75% of what they learned unless the information is actively reviewed.
75% within 2 days. That is terrifying. It means most of what we say in a meeting is completely gone by the weekend.
It is gone. The only way to flatten the forgetting curve is through strategic repetition. If you have a core message, you cannot just say it once and expect it to live.
So in a presentation, you have to build repetition into the structure, like tell them what you were going to tell them, and then tell them what you told them.
Exactly. Have a clear, concrete slogan for your project and repeat it in the introduction, the middle, and the conclusion. Repetition builds the neural pathways of memory.
We have covered an immense amount of ground today. We have dismantled weak words like very. We explored the psychological nuance of diplomacy. We cut out hedges and apologies. We fixed our physical vocal habits. We learned cognitive self-editing, and we studied the biology of memory.
It is a profound toolkit. But here is the hard truth. Knowledge without application is useless. You cannot just listen to this conversation today and expect your English to be flawless tomorrow. You must build a mechanical habit.
Building habits is where most people fail, though. We are all incredibly busy. The idea of adding an hour of language study to a busy corporate schedule feels impossible.
The beautiful truth is you do not need an hour. To build an optimized daily learning habit, you only need 10 minutes. But it must be 10 minutes of highly focused active output.
What exactly should we do in those 10 minutes?
You must practice active speaking out loud every single day. This builds muscle memory in your jaw and tongue, and it trains your brain to retrieve English vocabulary under pressure without relying on filler words.
But what if our listener works from home or lives alone? What should they talk about for 10 minutes if there is no conversation partner?
You talk to yourself. You become the narrator of your own life. As you go about your morning, describe what you were doing in English. Describe the physical objects you see. Explain your plans for the day.
So instead of thinking quietly, you force the thoughts out through your vocal cords. It is like shadowboxing for language.
Exactly. Let's do a live practice round of this daily habit right now.
Yes, listener. Stand up or sit up straight. We are going to practice narrating your life.
I want you to think about your morning routine. What is the very first physical action you take when you get out of bed? I want you to describe it out loud in a full sentence. Say it now.
Wait a few seconds. Describe that first action out loud.
Excellent. Maybe you said, I walked to the window and opened the curtains. Or, I checked my phone. Now let's add the layer of strong vocabulary we learned earlier.
Right, the strong adjectives.
Tell us about what you eat or drink for breakfast. But you must use a strong, concrete adjective. Do not say, I drink a very good cup of coffee. Elevate the language. Tell us about your breakfast out loud.
Use a strong word. We'll give you a few seconds.
Beautiful.
I am sure we had some superb espresso and excellent oatmeal out there. If you do this for 10 minutes every morning, your brain will stop translating and start actually producing.
Let's bring all of these concepts together into one unified strategy. This is your blueprint for linguistic confidence.
So, for listening, pay attention to the space between words. Notice when leaders use silence to command authority.
For reading, read your own writing out loud to break the cognitive autofill and test the physical rhythm of your sentences.
For writing, hunt down and eliminate the word very. Replace weak to be verbs with powerful action verbs.
And for speaking, embrace the 10-minute daily narration habit. Drop your pitch at the end of sentences and never ever apologize for your accent.
That is a complete, holistic system for transformation. It feels very achievable.
I want to leave you with one final, deeply important thought today. Your voice and your words are a profound gift. Every time you pause, breathe, and choose a strong, precise word, you are not just transmitting information, you are showing the world exactly who you are.
That is incredibly inspiring.
Do not hide your intelligence behind weak words. Do not shrink yourself with unnecessary apologies or quiet hedges. You have earned your seat at the table. Now it is time to speak like you belong there.
Thank you so much for spending this time with us today and for being brave enough to practice out loud. We are incredibly proud of the work you are doing.
We truly are. Start your 10-minute speaking habit tomorrow morning. Make your excellent coffee, look out the window, and start talking. Have a wonderful, powerful, and deeply confident day.